Jessica Mulroney, Meghan Markle's one-time best friend, whose children played a very prominent role in Meghan's wedding, is apparently officially getting divorced from her husband, Ben Mulroney.
Shockwaves hit Canadian high society when Jessica Mulroney, once one of the country's most prominent stylists, separated from her husband after 16 years of marriage. Fans and followers were left stunned, and social media exploded with questions. What really happened behind closed doors? Was this long expected, or could it have been tied to the controversies Jessica found herself in at the time? Join us as we unveil the real reasons their marriage ended. Canada's most talked about marriages. Jessica and Ben Mulroney had a fairy tale marriage. They first crossed paths when she was just 15, and he was 17. She was friends with Ben's brother Mark, and Ben later admitted she left a big impression on him. At the time, nothing happened. They were just teenagers, and life moved on. Ben went off to pursue his studies and eventually a career in entertainment, rather than the law path his parents had hoped for. A decade later, fate brought them back together. In 2007, while taking a break from filming Canadian Idol in Montreal, Ben decided to reach out to Jessica. She agreed to meet him for dinner, and that night they had sushi and hit the karaoke stage, where Ben performed New York, New York. He was a little embarrassed, but Jessica was charmed, and Ben later said he realized during that first date that they were meant to be. After that, things moved quickly. Over the next 9 months, Jessica joined Ben on his Idol tour, and Ben spent time at her Montreal apartment. The connection they had as teenagers had evolved into a deep, real bond, strengthened by shared experiences and time spent together. Ben proposed at Chez Nick, a Westmount diner they both had visited as kids. With guidance from his mother, he picked out a diamond ring, and Jessica said yes. Their wedding was a 3-day celebration with hundreds of guests, reflecting both their personal significance and social prominence. After marriage, they became a high-profile couple almost immediately. Within a year, they were co-chairs of the Innovators Ball and frequently appeared together on red carpets. Their family grew with twin boys arriving in 2010, followed by a daughter in 2013. While their honeymoon phase lasted for years, they were recently hit with the harsh reality of life outside their love bubble. What situation did they find themselves in? From red carpet to red flag. When Bell Media pulled Jessica Mulroney's reality series I Do from all platforms after the celebrity stylist was accused by Toronto lifestyle influencer Sasha Exeter of threatening her career during a dispute tied to the anti-black racism movement. It all sounded scandalous. The controversy surfaced after Exeter posted a video to Instagram, explaining that the conflict began when she issued a general call to action encouraging influencers to use their platforms to amplify black voices. According to Exeter, Jessica, who had not publicly addressed the movement at that point, interpreted the message as a personal attack. Exeter alleged that Jessica responded by sending written messages that threatened her livelihood, including claims that she was speaking with brands and companies about Exeter's behavior. In the influencer industry, where partnerships and sponsorships are essential sources of income, Exeter described this as a direct threat. Following the video's release, Bell Media issued a statement announcing the immediate removal of I Do, which had recently premiered its first season. The company said the decision reflected its commitment to inclusivity, respect, and allyship, stating that Jessica's conduct conflicted with those values. In response, Jessica acknowledged Bell Media's decision and announced she would step back from her professional engagements. In a written statement shared on social media, she said the events had made it clear she needed to reflect and learn. She also acknowledged her privilege and said she intended to do better moving forward. Exeter later alleged that Jessica had threatened legal action after the dispute became public. Jessica subsequently clarified that she had no intention of pursuing a lawsuit and apologized, stating that she was wrong and deeply sorry for how she handled the situation. She also said she had not intended to jeopardize Exeter's career and admitted that she had taken the initial call to action too personally. Jessica announced plans to step back from social media temporarily, saying she wanted to use the time to reflect and to amplify Black voices by allowing others to take over her platform. However, the fallout extended beyond Bell Media. Cityline confirmed that Jessica would no longer appear as a guest expert, while Hudson's Bay and Kleinfeld Canada ended their professional relationships with her. Good Morning America also announced that Jessica would no longer appear as a fashion contributor. Exeter, a former elite athlete turned entrepreneur and brand strategist, emphasized that she was not labeling Jessica a racist. Instead, she framed the issue as one of power and privilege, arguing that the ability to threaten professional consequences reflected systemic imbalances within the industry. Despite the controversies, Jessica had someone stand firmly by her side as emotional support. But it wasn't Meghan, her supposed best friend. So who stepped in? And what did they lose in the process? Jessica's support system. Ben, her husband, did something that shocked everyone to their core. He announced he would be stepping down from his co-hosting role on eTalk, citing the need to make room for new, diverse voices and to support his wife. Behind the scenes, the situation reportedly created tension at CTV. It was reported that the staff were caught off guard by his absence, though Ben maintained he had been focused on supporting his wife. When he announced his departure from eTalk, he explained that his decision was motivated by the need for more representation in the media. Ben revealed, "I love my wife, however, it is not my place to speak for her. Today, together, we are committed to doing the work to both learn and understand more about anti-Black racism as well as our blind spots." He went on to stress that the conversation around systemic racism highlighted the need for more Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the media, a principle he hopes to support by stepping aside. CTV expressed pride in Ben's decision, confirming he would still contribute to eTalk on special assignments, such as red carpet events like the Oscars. Meanwhile, sources close to the couple suggest Ben has been advising and supporting Jessica privately, noting that there are two sides to every story. Socially, many in Toronto's arts, media, and fashion circles have distanced themselves, and insiders suggest even her high-profile friendship with Meghan Markle is no longer as publicly visible. Jessica's absence from public appearances has also been noticeable. Reports indicate she is staying close to home in Toronto, spending time with her 3 children while laying low amid the ongoing scrutiny. Her parents have been seen accompanying the kids in the neighborhood, providing a semblance of normalcy amid the media storm. From the outside, the family appeared to be thriving, until shocking news of a separation swept the internet. The question everyone immediately asked was simple: what happened? Inside the Mulroney split. It has been confirmed that Jessica Mulroney and Ben Mulroney are officially going their separate ways. After more than 16 years of marriage, they have unfortunately split, with multiple outlets confirming the separation. While neither has publicly commented yet, the signs had been quietly adding up for months. Speculation began earlier this summer when Jessica started posting photos on social media without her wedding ring. Fans noticed the absence almost immediately, especially since Jessica has always been fairly open about her family life online. News has reached out to representatives for both Jessica and Ben for confirmation, but so far, there's been no official response. Beyond the missing ring, Jessica's social media activity has hinted at a new chapter. Her posts have increasingly focused on personal growth, work, and life changes, while Ben has been noticeably absent. In fact, the last time Ben appeared on her Instagram was back in March, when she shared a birthday post celebrating his 49th. At the time, everything still seemed warm and affectionate, with Jessica wishing that all his dreams would come true. The couple marked their 16th wedding anniversary in October, though even then, there were subtle signs that things weren't quite the same. Jessica jokingly admitted they had completely forgotten to celebrate the milestone. In a lighthearted post, she wrote that their missed anniversary was an oversight, adding that the love they shared throughout the year made up for it. It came across as playful at the time, but in hindsight, it now feels like a small clue that their relationship may already have been shifting. Ben has always kept a lower profile online compared to his wife. Still, when he did post about Jessica, his words were deeply emotional. In a 2021 tribute, he described her as his everything, saying no one brought him more joy, pride, passion, or love. He even reflected on how long it took him to get their first date, emphasizing how certain he was that once they were together, he would never let her go. That deeply rooted partnership extended beyond their marriage and into their social circle. For years, Jessica and Ben were closely connected to Meghan Markle during her time in Toronto filming Suits. The Mulroneys became part of Meghan's inner circle, with their family playing a visible role in her life, including having their children take part in Meghan and Prince Harry's 2018 royal wedding. At the time, the friendship highlighted just how firmly Meghan had woven herself into Toronto's social scene. That relationship, however, appeared to shift after the controversies, leaving many deeply interested in what really happened. So what went wrong? From royal inner circle to public scrutiny. Jessica's public fallout spilled into her once close relationship with the Duchess of Sussex. Jessica and Meghan became friends in Canada while Meghan was filming Suits in Toronto, and the two remained inseparable through Meghan's early relationship with Prince Harry. Jessica was not only a confidant, but also played a visible role in Meghan's transition into royal life. Her 3 children even took part in Harry and Meghan's 2018 wedding, serving as page boys and a bridesmaid. For a time, the friendship elevated Jessica's profile significantly. She became a recognizable figure at royal events and expanded her presence across television and fashion media. But that same visibility would later amplify the consequences of a controversy that erupted in 2020. Although Meghan was not directly involved, her association with Jessica made her a focal point of online discussion. Reports at the time stated that Meghan was mortified by the situation and chose to distance herself from Jessica after the initial allegations surfaced. While sources insisted the Duchess did not entirely cut ties, the once public friendship faded almost overnight. It became more than just speculations when followers noticed that a photo of her and Meghan from the royal wedding was gone. That single missing image fueled widespread speculation that their friendship had cooled or ended altogether. Jessica later tried to shut down the rumors, stating clearly that she and Meghan were still family and insisting that Meghan was one of the kindest friends she had. Meghan herself never publicly addressed the status of their friendship. Since then, though, Jessica has been notably absent from Meghan's more recent projects and appearances. She did not appear in Meghan's Netflix series Love Meghan, which instead featured other close friends like Mindy Kaling and Abigail Spencer. For Jessica, that loss appeared to be deeply personal. According to insiders cited by British tabloids, she once considered Meghan family but now views that period of her life as a dark cloud. One source claimed that while Jessica appreciated the exposure her royal connections brought early on, she later came to regret the level of attention it attracted. The same visibility that boosted her profile also intensified the backlash when her name became attached to controversy. According to a source close to Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex has been struggling privately with the fallout from the controversy involving her former close friend, Jessica Mulroney. The source told Entertainment Tonight that Meghan has felt both hurt and embarrassed by what they described as a deeply painful situation, and that she has found it difficult to move past her anger towards someone she once trusted for years. The source explained that Meghan was particularly upset by Jessica's behavior during the controversy, believing it showed a lack of awareness and sensitivity. From Meghan's perspective, Jessica appeared tone-deaf and used her privilege in a way that crossed a line, especially in her interactions with influencer Sasha Exeter, while Jessica reportedly reached out to Meghan privately to address what were described as misguided and insensitive remarks. It remains unclear whether those conversations led to any real resolution or closure between the two women. Now, with news of her divorce emerging, some observers see the split as the final chapter in a series of life-altering changes that began 5 years ago. Page 6 reported that the couple had been separated for some time, with Jessica sharing the news privately at a recent Toronto wedding. According to a source, she appeared sad but also relieved, suggesting a sense of closure rather than shock. Neither Jessica nor Ben has publicly commented on the reported divorce, and Meghan Markle has remained silent as well. Still, the renewed focus on their intertwined past highlights how quickly proximity to fame, especially royal fame, can turn from an asset into a burden. What began as a close friendship built on shared careers and mutual support ultimately became a lightning rod for public judgment. Years later, its ripple effects are still being felt, reshaping lives long after the headlines moved on. Reasserting herself. Following the backlash, Jessica largely stepped away from the public eye for several years. During that time, she stayed mostly quiet and avoided the spotlight that once surrounded her career as a stylist and media personality. In recent months, however, she has slowly begun to re-emerge publicly, signaling a shift toward reclaiming her place in social and professional circles. Earlier this week, Jessica shared a photo on Instagram, showing herself at a dress fitting ahead of a high-profile event, marking one of her more visible appearances in some time. The post suggested a renewed confidence and willingness to be seen again, a notable change after years of relative silence. As the daughter-in-law of former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, her reappearance did not go unnoticed. Last November, Jessica also attended a fundraising gala for the Shoebox Project for Shelters, a charity she co-founded in 2011 with her sisters-in-law, Caroline, Katie, and Vanessa. The organization focuses on supporting at-risk women and people experiencing homelessness across Canada. Although Jessica officially stepped away from the charity in 2020, her presence at the event, and the fact that she brought her daughter Ivy along, was seen by many as another sign that she is gradually stepping back into public life. She later shared a photo from the gala on social media, expressing pride in the next generation and highlighting the success of the fundraiser, which raised over $25,000 for women affected by homelessness. The message framed the night as one of generosity and renewal, reinforcing the idea that she is trying to move forward. Jessica has also reconnected with the fashion world. She was involved with the 2023 Canadian Arts and Fashion Awards and publicly praised Canadian designers for their creativity and talent. In a social media post, she emphasized the importance of celebrating local artistry despite global challenges, a sentiment that resonated with many of her followers. Meanwhile, publicist Vince Chiarlo told the Daily Mail that the timing may be right for Jessica's return. He noted that enough time has passed since the controversy and argued that she followed the familiar path of public accountability, apologizing, stepping back, and quietly rebuilding her reputation. According to Chiarlo, Jessica now deserves the opportunity to re-enter the public conversation and share her creative expertise again. As Jessica gradually reasserts herself, Meghan appears to be navigating the emotional aftermath in private. While both women have moved forward in different ways, the once close friendship that connected them now remains firmly in the past, shaped by controversy, distance, and unresolved feelings. Ben Mulroney, the former husband of Jessica Mulroney, has continued to stay active in Canadian media following their separation in the summer of 2025. After 16 years of marriage, the split marked a major personal change. But professionally, Jessica has remained firmly in the public eye. He is currently working as both a radio and television host in Canada, carving out a steady presence in political and talk media. One of his main roles is hosting The Ben Mulroney Show, a mid-morning talk radio program on 640 Toronto. The show is nationally syndicated across Chorus Entertainment's talk radio stations, giving Mulroney a broad platform to discuss current events, politics, and social issues. Known for his direct style, he often shares his opinions openly, which has helped him maintain a loyal listener base. In addition to his radio work, Mulroney has also stepped back into television. In September 2025, he began temporarily hosting the 15th season of The West Block, a long-running weekly political panel show on the Global Television Network. The program focuses on Canadian politics and policy discussions, and Mulroney's role places him at the center of national political conversations during a busy season. Mulroney has never shied away from expressing his personal and political views. On his radio show and in interviews, he has openly stated his support for the Conservative Party of Canada, a stance that aligns with his background and longtime interest in political discourse. While his views sometimes spark debate, they also reinforce his image as a commentator who speaks plainly rather than cautiously. Is there any hope of mending her relationships with her ex-husband and Meghan Markle? Iced out forever. Jessica Mulroney has been publicly erased from one of Canada's most prominent political families. She was noticeably absent from the Mulroney family Christmas card last year, a move that has sparked speculation about her current standing with her in-laws. The card, sent by former Canadian First Lady Mila Mulroney, featured 19 family members, including her 4 adult children and their families. While Ben Mulroney, Jessica's former husband, appeared alongside their 3 children, Jessica was nowhere to be seen. Sources familiar with the family suggest that the Mulroneys had long been wary of Jessica's behavior. One insider described her as Pepsi from the get-go, a slang expression from her hometown of Montreal, implying a social climber. Another added that the family had grown tired of Jessica allegedly using others to spread rumors about her separation from Ben. After 16 years of marriage, Ben and Jessica's split in the summer of 2025 had been largely kept quiet, but the Christmas card made her absence undeniable. The Mulroneys' decision to leave her out of the card seems to reflect both personal and public tensions. While Ben and Jessica were once seen as a power couple in Canada, their separation coincides with a period of significant upheaval in Jessica's professional and social life. She has spent recent years largely out of the spotlight, though she has begun re-emerging on social media, sharing glimpses of her life, modeling, and work as a stylist to her 400,000 Instagram followers. The Mulroney children were closely connected to Meghan, even participating in her 2018 royal wedding to Prince Harry in Windsor Castle. The twins carried the bride's veil, and Ivy served as a flower girl alongside Princess Charlotte. Meghan had met Jessica while filming Suits in Toronto, and for years, the stylist was considered a trusted confidant. However, after 2020, Meghan's public appearances no longer included Jessica, and the once close friendship was officially over. Despite the setbacks, Jessica has worked to maintain a public presence, regularly posting about her fashion projects, workouts, and lifestyle endeavors. Yet the absence from the family Christmas card serves as a stark reminder of the personal and professional consequences she has faced in recent years, highlighting just how far her relationships and standing have shifted. With Jessica stepping back into public life while her private relationships remain fractured, the question many are left asking is whether she can fully rebuild her connections, both within her family and in the broader social sphere, or if some doors have closed for good. Is there no hope of restitution between Jessica and Meghan in the future? How is the industry reacting to her being back from her hiatus? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.